Hello, in this video we're looking at issue 84 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine. This issue came with a Skitarii Marshal, and in our narrative campaign, the battle returns to Tsiphos. Hello, I'm Mike, and this is Will. We are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we're bringing you issue 84 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine today. This issue came with a Skitarii Marshal, and we'll be finishing off our Mechanicus collection. You can see him in action by skipping ahead to the battle report, but we'll have a look through the issue first. So we have a battle record for the Skitarii Marshal first. These are the field commanders of the Skitarii ground forces. He goes over some of his equipment. So he has a control stave as a sort of rod of office. He is fitted with much more advanced bionics than the regular Skitarii and so on. Carries a radium serpenter as his main weapon and is accompanied by a servo skull. And as usual, you can give him a name and a title and so on. And we have more background on the Eldari, the Asayani particularly. So the Eldari as a species seem to have a tendency to pursue various sensations, and the Asayani temper this obsession by travelling down certain paths, as they call them, sort of ways of life. And Eldari are so long-lived that they will usually master one path and then switch to a different one and master that and so on. So it goes over some of them here. So we have the path of the outcasts. So living on craft worlds is restricted for some Eldar. So these will go out and scout the galaxy, often in search of the lost craft worlds or various artifacts. The path of the warrior, which represents different aspects of the Eldari god Cain, different ways of waging war. And then the path of the seer, which are the psychers and mystics of the Eldari, focus on seeing the future and manipulating psychic energies. Then a short story here about Magnitha Primus, that has suffered a Genestealer cult uprising, and unfortunately for the Skitarii defenders, a Tyranid hive fleet is also arriving. But there's a nice close-up artwork of a lictor there, a Tyranid ambush beast, and a shot of the Onager June Crawler, a heavy Skitarii walker. The conclusion of the short story is there, but a little sidebar there talking about the importance of the Skitarii as part of the Mechanicus. But then the build guide, he's fairly simple to put together. He's basically the same as the other Skitarii. Again, some fragile parts like the cables on his backpack and the servo skull. And the painting guide, he is again very similar to the Skitarii. A few more ornate details you might need to pick out, but otherwise is basically the same. All the techniques you've used up until this point. And there you can see the finished model there. So I'll hand you over to Will, where we'll be learning some new rules for the Mechanicus, and we can see the datasheet for our new Skitarii Marshal.
So in this issue we get some Warlord Traits for the Adeptus Mechanicus at last. Thought they'd been left out, but no, here they are. We get four of them to use. So two of them are Skitarii Warlord Traits that only the Skitarii Marshal can use, and two are for the two Tech Priests to pick from. The Skitarii Warlord Traits, we've got Battlesphere Uplink. So in your command phase you can select a Mars Skitarii core unit within 9 inches of the Warlord, or a Mars core data tether unit which is anywhere on the battlefield. And until the start of your next command phase, models suffer no penalties to hit rolls, or for both moving with heavy weapons in the same turn, or advancing and firing with assault weapons. And then we've also got Firepoint Telemetry Cache, which has the same conditions in the command phase, 9 inches of the Warlord or data tether unit anywhere on the battlefield, but this time, every time that unit is hit by a ranged attack, it gets the benefits of light cover and also gets an additional +1 to armor saving throws if it's entirely on or within a terrain feature and it's an infantry unit. And then for the Tech Priests, we've got Masterwork Bionics, which gives the Warlord a 4+ invulnerable save and reduces all damage by 1 to a minimum of 1, and Necro Mechanic, which means every time they use their Master of Machines ability, the unit being repaired gains 3 wounds rather than D3. And then as usual a tutorial, so here for Battlesphere Uplink, so different weapons will benefit from that, and then Master of Machines. And then we have the datasheet for the Skitarii Marshal, an HQ choice costing 3 power, has a 6-inch move, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 2+, still only strength and toughness 3 because it's still only a Skitarius, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, and a leadership of 8 with a 4+ save. It's equipped with a radium serpenter and a control stave. The radium serpenter is an 18-inch assault 1 weapon, strength 3, no AP, 1 damage, against anything that isn't a vehicle, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds, and the control stave is a +3 strength, -2 AP, 1 damage melee weapon. It has doctrinal imperatives, being a Skitarii unit, Control Edict means that in your command phase you can select a Skitarii unit within 9 inches or a data tether anywhere, and that unit then ignores the deprecation effect of the currently active Doctriner imperative until the start of your next command phase. And Servo Skull Uplink, Skitarii core units within 6 inches reroll wound rolls 1, has a 5+ invulnerable save, and worth mentioning it also has the Doctriner Assembler keyword, so it does allow Doctriner imperatives to be used in your army. And tutorial, so for Control Edict you can see these Skitarii ranges are outside of 9 inches, but they do have a data tether, so they can still benefit from the Control Edict ability and indeed those 2 Warlord traits that we mentioned before. And for this issue's game, we're returning to Tsiphos. So although most of the Imperial forces have been moved to Kiana's Skull for the climactic confrontation there that we played out recently, war did not stop on Tsiphos, and there's still plenty of Necrons active on the surface, and they're launching renewed assaults upon the factories and weapons systems, and the Adeptus Mechanicus forces are leading the efforts to repel them. And so we have our next campaign mission, the Radium Vats, which is only a 50 power mission being played on 2 battle mats. So we've got deployment zones kind of in opposite corners, 6 inches on from the short edge, going up to the centre line of the board, and 3 objectives, 1 right in the middle and then 1 in each of the 2 quadrants that don't contain a deployment zone. And the primary objective is capture and control, where it's 10 victory points for the following conditions: controlling 1 or more objectives, 2 or more objectives, and controlling the objective marker in the middle of the battlefield, and this version of it. And the Necrons player can choose the Purgation Protocol's secondary objective, which means they score 2 victory points at the end of each turn for each table quarter that does not contain any enemy units wholly within it, but that can't be scored on the first battle round. But otherwise there's no more to it, so we will show you our armies and get straight into the game. So here is my 50 power Necron army. It is a 50+ power detachment, so we've got the 3 troops choices, 2 units of Necron warriors and the Immortals. We're led by the Necron Overlord, whose Warlord trait is going to be Honourable Combatant for this game, so he has more attacks against characters. Also accompanied by the Technomancer and the Plasmancer, no Cryptic Arcana today, and also bringing the 5 Lich Guard, 2 units of 3 Canoptic Scarabs, 3 Canoptic Wraiths with Transdimensional Beamers, and the Canoptic Spider. And for my campaign reward I'm picking the one from Tragus, where I can pick a unit and 6 to hit are automatically wounding, and I'm going to give that to the same warriors I did last time, the ones with the Gauss Flayers. And then here is our Imperial force.
Yeah, so we're going for a mixed Sisters and AdMech force. I have the Skitarii Marshal, our new character. He's going to be my Warlord for this game. He's going to have the 5-point telemetry cache Warlord trait. Let him pick a Skitarii core unit or data tether unit, and they ignore the penalty for moving and shooting heavy weapons. That's basically what he's going to do.
Slight correction, this is actually Battlesphere Uplink, not 5-point telemetry cache. Battlesphere Uplink is the Warlord trait that he's actually going to be using in this game, just said the wrong name.
I've got the Tech Priest Dominus, who's going to be in the Artisans Holy Order, the Skitarii Rangers and the Cataphren Destroyers. Then I've got my Sisters detachment with the Canoness, who has the Sword of St. Marcius. It replaces a power sword, it has +1 strength, AP -3 damage.
Yeah, that's the campaign reward.
Then I have the Battle Sisters, the Seraphim, the Paragon Warsuits with the Multi-Melters and the Swords, then the Penitent Engine and the Archoflagellant.
So here's our battlefield, and as you might have actually noticed in the picture, we're on the reverse side of boards 2 and 3 with the preset terrain layout, which is a bit different, although you will notice there's a huge amount of open ground in the middle, so that's going to be a bit of a fight over objective 2. And from this angle you can see all 3 objectives. We actually span the board round relative to how it is in the picture because Mike won the roll-off and wanted to pick the deployment zone up in the top right. Having a look at my Necron deployment, it's a bit cramped. We just about managed to fit all the models in that aren't in strategic reserves. So from left to right we've got the Spider at the back with the 2 units of Scarabs. The Lich Guard are at the front left there with the Overlord and the Technomancer. 1 unit of Warriors with Gauss Flayers. The Immortals are behind the pipe and the Wraiths out on the right. And the unit of Warriors with Gauss Reapers are in strategic reserves. And here's the Imperial deployment, showing it from the back so you can actually see everything. So from the left we've got all the Battle Sisters with the Paragons out front, and then the Battle Sister squad with the Canoness behind. Then I've got the Skitarii Rangers with the Marshal and the Dominus behind them, and the Cataphren Destroyers on the right, just about fitting in. And then I have the Seraphim in the sky, and then the Archoflagellant and the Penitent Engine in strategic reserves. And my Sacred Right, I just picked the Passion rather than rolling. Because the Imperium won the previous battle, the campaign tracker is back down to Necron's Ascendant, so that allows the Imperium player to automatically pass a morale test once per game, and the Necron player to give a unit +1 attacks once per game. That's not a character. For my secondary objective, I'm going with Purgation Protocols, the mission-specific one. I don't know if it's actually any good, but just for interest's sake, really.
And I'm going to pick Domination, because I don't think I've ever picked it.
And because it's only a 50 power game, we start with 6 command points down to 5 because we've got strategic reserves, but then we're rolling off to see who goes first. Well, I've won the roll-off. And I'll go first, I think, because with my secondary and also strategic reserves and stuff, it gives me some more board position, so I think it's worth it. So we'll go into Necron's turn 1. Battle round 1, we'll have Protocol of the Sudden Storm for +1 movement. The Miracle Dice for the Battle Sisters is a 4.
Yeah, I'm not picking any Canticle or Doctriner to be active yet.
My entire army advanced and there's no shooting, and we got some good advance rolls. So the Wraiths have got out on Objective 3, there's some Scarabs in there in the building, the Immortals got up to a pipe, Warriors are all in the building on the right, Scarabs on the flank, the Lich Guard and the Spider are hiding behind the building for now, and the Technomancer and the Overlord are kind of in the middle. That's it for my turn. I don't score my secondary in the first battle round, so we're on to Imperium turn 1.
For my movement, the Paragon Warsuits have moved out, they're getting ready for Objective 1. Weapons are just about in range of the Wraiths where they are, as this is moving up forward cautiously, with cannons behind. Rangers going up onto the roof of the building, got a nice fire base, the Skitarii Marshal standing around underneath them, and then the Cataphrons and the Dominus are going around the edge of the battlefield. Spend 2 command points for Data Bliss, also summoned to give Benediction of the Omnicide to the Cataphron Destroyers. Command Rod is going on the Paragon Warsuit, and also the Skitarii Marshal's ability is going on the Skitarii Rangers, because it's the only possible target. Start shooting with the Paragon Warsuit, so we're going to put the grenade launchers and the multi-melters into the Wraiths. 6 shots from multi-melters on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the command rod. Only 3 hits. Yeah, you know what, we'll auto pass 1. 3, so that's 3 wounds.
So 3 4+ invulnerable saves. Made 2. Reroll that because the multi-melter is dangerous. No, it still goes through.
D6 damage, 3.
That kills 1.
Grenade launchers, 6 shots again on 3s, rerolling 1s. 5 hits, wounding on 3s as well. Getting 4 wounds.
Yeah, well, they were being covered from a pipe, so 3s. Oh, failed 2. No.
First one is 2. I'll reroll it, you never know. Oh, just down 1. Second one. Oh, so I only kill 1.
So 1 dies, does it come back? No.
So I'll do the Skitarii Rangers. Supercharged Plasma Caliber and Arc Rifle are going to go into the Wraiths. The Sniper's going to go into the Technomancer. You can just about see him around the corner of the building. And then all the rifles are going into the Immortals.
3 wins to the Rifles and Immortals, worth saying that they ignore the penalty for moving and shooting because of the Skitarii Marshal, of course. So we've got 3 saves, which I made all of because we're in cover. A wound from the Arc Rifle on the Wraiths with a 4+. No, failed, so that kills the wounded Wraith.
And 2 shots from the Plasma. Both hit. 3s again. Both wound.
4s again. Oh, no, both failed. So actually the Wraiths are gone.
And a shot at the Technomancer. He missed, as usual. Do the Cataphron Destroyers next. They're actually going to shoot at the unit of Scarabs in this building because that might free up that corner to bring in my reserves.
So the Cataphrons took out 1 Scarab base between them with some not so great rolling. And then Battlesisters all shot at the Warriors but didn't cause any casualties. And there won't be any more shooting because the Tech Priest Dominus isn't in range of anything. No domination, so we're straight on to Necron's turn 2. So we're on to Protocol of the Vengeful Stars. Extra AP on 6s to wound with shooting. Miracle Dice was a 2.
Yeah, I'm picking Protector Imperatives, that's +1 ballistic skill, +1 weapon skill, and then I'm going to pick Benediction of the Omnicide to be actually active.
My will be done went on the Warriors with the Flayers, who have moved into the middle, as you can see there. The Scarabs down here have spread out a bit, but we're trying to force the Imperial forces back. Spider's going to stay behind the building, so it doesn't get blown away by multi-melters. And also it's blocking off the Seraphim coming in my back corner to prevent them spoiling my secondary objective party. And the Lich Guard have moved into the building, and the Overlord's in there with them. Well, there's actually 1 Lich Guard outside the building, still in coherency, to be within 6 inches of the Technomancer, who's gone all the way over towards Objective 3. The Immortals are staying where they are. And over on the far side in the reinforcement step, the Warriors with Gauss Reapers have arrived in a place to give the Technomancer "Look out, sir," but also get in range of the Cataphron Destroyers, and the Scarabs are there. You can see one of the bases, the other one's just in the building, blocking off that other corner from reinforcements arriving. And my command phase I also gained 10 victory points for holding the 1 objective. Harbinger's Destruction killed 2 Battle Sisters at the end of the movement phase, and then on to shooting, where we'll start with Warriors with Gauss Reapers shooting at the Cataphron Destroyers, or at least the 8 of them that are in range will. That and the Technomancer only managed 1 wound to a Cataphron. Warriors in the middle are all shooting at the Battle Sisters. I'm spending a command point for a Relentless Onslaught, so we've got 10 shots hitting on 2s because of my will be done. 6 is auto wound and are also an extra hit. 2 auto wounds and then 9 regular hits, which are on 3s. 8, so that's 10 wounds in total. And 3 of those wounds are at -1 as well because of the command protocol.
Okay, so we've got 1 sister in cover from the pipe. So 4+, she's gone. And 3 more 4s for bolt gunners without cover. Lose 1. 2 more bolt gunners without cover. Lose another 1. Bolt gunner dies, and then Banner on a 3. She lives, dies. Stormbolter lives.
The final save was a fail because of the extra AP from the command protocol. So just leaving the Superior and the Flamer alive. And then the Immortals killed the Flamer, but the Superior is still alive. But that's all my shooting because the Plasmod's out of range. So then the Battle Sisters obviously will have to take a morale test.
So I'm just going to use my Monster Game to auto-pass it.
Yep, from the Necrons being Ascendant, that is. And then I gain 4 victory points because there are 2 table quarters that don't have any Imperial units wholly within them. And we're on to Imperium turn 2.
I get 10 victory points at the end of my command phase. Also, the command rod is going on to the Paragon Warsuits, and the Skitarii Marshal stops them getting to negative if they somehow end up in melee. Then up at the top of the board, the Cataphrons are moved forward, so we can get in range of all those warriors. Dominus following up behind, and they'll fix the damaged Gravman at the end of the movement phase. The Sister Superior advanced, and she got a mighty roll, so she's just going to stand on objective 1 for the rest of the game. Canoness moved into that table quarter, and also to get close to the rest of the Sisters. Paragon Warsuits moved around, and then at the end of the movement phase, I brought in the Seraphim near the middle of the battlefield, whereas the Penitent Engine and the Archoflagellants are towards the bottom of the battlefield, just to head off those Scarabs. Start shooting with the Paragon Warsuits. These two in front are going to put their guns into the larger unit of Scarabs, and the one at the back can just about see these Scarabs up here, so she'll shoot at them.
So that finished off the unit of the Scarabs in the south of the board and killed one of the bases up in the top.
Paragons destroyed the Scarab Swarm, so I get Miracle Dice from that. 5. So Cataphrons next. Flamers, the Plasma and the Phosphor Blast are going into the Warriors in front, whereas the Grav is going into the Lich Guard, because they have a 3+ save.
Grav didn't do anything. Heavy Phosphor and the Flamers killed 3 warriors so far.
And then 2d6 Plasma shots, not supercharging, so that's 7. 4s. I haven't used Benediction yet, so I'll use it now. 4 hits, and 3s, and Benediction again.
4 more dead, so we lost 7 in total. And we get 1 back and 5 1s to reroll. So 4 did come back.
I shall do the Seraphim next. They're going to shoot the warriors in the middle. Black Dice is the Plasma, not supercharging. These hit on 3s or on 1s. Black Dice wounds on a 3, otherwise it's a 4. Only 3 wounds.
Lose 2 warriors.
Do they come back? No. So I'll do the Skitarii Rangers at the same unit of warriors, apart from the sniper who'll shoot at the Technomancer. 7 wounds with rifles.
7 5s, so 5 dead.
Plasma not supercharged. 2 hits, 3s. 2 dead.
2 more dead.
The arc rifle on a 2, hits. 3 wounds, -2.
6 dead. All warriors are gone.
Finally the sniper, hits on a 2, rerolling 1s. He can't possibly miss, can he? He hit. 3. That's a wound and a mortal wound.
But he's got cover, so he'll have a 5+ save, which he may, so he just takes a mortal wound.
In my charge phase, I'm going to declare a long charge with the Seraphim at the warriors with Gauss Reapers.
And then also Overwatch, I think 5 of them are in range. Overwatch did a wound, but it was saved.
And then charge needs a big roll, like more than a 5. Yeah, you know what, I will re-roll it. See if I can sneak into that table quarter. Oh, 7, that's not enough either.
So that's it. Those warriors don't need to take a morale test, because they only lost 4 after everything. So we're on to Necron's turn 3. The protocol is Protocol of the Eternal Guardian. We'll go for be able to set to defend or Overwatch better if charged. Miracle Dice was a 3.
I'm going to pick Shroud Storm to be my canonical. I won't pick a Doctrinaire. No, actually I will pick Bulwark Imperative just in case Necrons decide to shoot the Rangers.
Well, we then went on the Lich Guard. The Technomancer brought back 3 warriors from the unit, and I gained another 10 victory points for holding 1 objective again. And then you can see all of the movement here. We're moving towards the middle of basically everything, apart from the Immortals, which are going to stand still. The Scarab base advanced to fly over next to the Spider. The Spider itself actually advanced over the top of the building. Plasmancer just hiding in the building down here. Harbour Engine of Destruction will hit the Paragon Warsuits for 2 mortal wounds. On to shooting then. We'll do the warriors all shooting at the Warsuits. So that did nothing at all to the Warsuits, passed all their armour saves. The Immortals and the Technomancer killed 3 Seraphim between them. The Spider killed an Archoflagellant and did another wound. And we've just got the Plasmancer left, who is actually going to try and finish off the Archoflagellants. Well, he shot pretty well and killed the remaining Archoflagellants. I think we have the 1 charge, which will be the Lich Guard, into the Paragon Warsuits.
I will Overwatch. The Multi-Melters on 6s, rerolling 1s. Nope. And the Grenade Launchers. They hit. Wounds on a 3. It does. Nice one.
Well, nobody in cover, so a 4. Oh, I failed. Yeah, I'm not going to spend my command point because I want to reroll it.
D3 damage. 3.
Kills the Lich Guard. Does it come back? No. And the charge is a 4, so I'm very glad I did not spend that command point for the reroll there. A 5. Oh. 5 is just enough, and we're going to go like this to leave space for the Overlord to try and make a charge. He'll need a bigger number. Probably not. We'll measure. Even having to go around the Lich Guard, that actually was enough, so he does get to there. Doing the Lich Guard first, 12 attacks, hitting on 2s. Will be done. They missed 3 times. And they wound on 3s. Only 5 wounds. Making us 4 though, so it'll be on the vulnerable saves.
6s. Didn't make any, but it's only 1 damage each. So
yes, they are reduced from 2 to 1. Yeah. Kill a Warsuit, bring on down to a wound.
Yeah, then I'll interrupt and attack with the Warsuits. I could have get the Prime into the Overlord, but I think I just want to kill off all the Lich Guard. So we have 9 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, and I'll even use a Miracle Dice to auto hit 1. 6s do an extra hit. Reroll the 1. 10 hits, wounding on 3s. 6 wounds at -3.
Those 6s for the Lich Guard. Well, made 2, but yeah, 4 is enough to kill them. So that Overwatch kill was actually quite important. Miracle dice for killing them was a 5. And then the Overlord has his attacks on 3s, so only managed to hit twice. I'll re-roll 1. Did hit. And 2 to wound, strength 10, so 3 wounds.
So 6s. Made 1.
So wounded 1 dies and the superior takes 2 wounds, because it's 3 damage base.
She's down to 2.
Seraphim passed their morale test because they're near the inspiring Hemo Trait reactor, and then at the end of the turn I gained 4 victory points for having 2 table quarters without Imperium things in them. And we're on to Imperium turn 3.
Plan will go on the Seraphim because they're moving out. It's just the superior of the war suit is still there. Skitarii Rangers coming down from the building. Get them in towards the middle, and they ignore the penalty to moving and shooting heavy weapons, thanks to the Skitarii Marshal. Cataphrons will move out around the Hemo Trait reactor. The Dominus is actually going to move that way, so he's near the Skitarii Rangers for his aura. And in the middle, the Penitent Engine is advanced. Get him into the fight. So starting the shooting phase with the Cataphrons, the main guns, the Grab and the Plasmas are going to the Immortals, while the Flamers and the Heavy Phosphor are going into those warriors in the middle. 5 shots from the Grab on 4s, getting 1, which wounds.
Cover also a 5 to save, which we made.
Plasmas, 12 shots, not supercharging, don't need the extra damage, so 12 shots on 4s, 7 hits, wounding on 3s, ooh, only getting 4.
With 5s again. Oh, made 3, we lose an Immortal, which comes back. Immortal reanimates in place, and the rest of the guns killed 2 warriors.
We'll do the Seraphim and the Technomancer, and you know what, we'll throw a crack grenade and overcharge the Plasma. So black dice is the Plasma, these are hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. They both hit 2 for the black dice, I think. Plasma wounds.
So that's 2 damage straight, because he doesn't get a save. And then a 5 for the grenade. Oh, made. So he's down to 2.
I'm going to use Galvanic Volley Fire on the Skitarii Rangers. Once per game I can make it cheaper with the Artisan's order. Everything will go into the warriors except the sniper who will shoot the Technons.
The warriors, unsurprisingly, all got obliterated by that many shots, but we've got the sniper on the Technomancer to do.
Hits on a 3, rolling 1s. He hit 3. Wounded.
6 to save. No, so
D3 damage.
he's still alive.
Canoness can fire a plasma pistol at the Technomancer now. Hits on a 2, hits. Wounds on a 3. She does not. The Skitarii Marshal can shoot at him as well. Hits on a 2. He does. Wounds on a 5. No.
And the Tech Priest Dominus picked off an Immortal as well.
Finally, I've got the Paragon Warsuit who's going to put her guns into the Overlord because she is a vehicle, so she can shoot in melee.
-1 to hit with heavy weapons, but
I'm actually going to use a 5 to auto hit with one of the multi shots, and then it hits on a 4, re-rolling 1s. Only 1 hit with the multi-melter. Wounds on a 3. Oh no, grenade launchers.
these are not heavy.
Yeah, so 3s, they both hit. 3s again. 1.
4 plus save, made it.
Charge phase. I'll do the Canoness first because she's going to have to roll. She gets a 10, that's definitely enough. So Penitent Engine is going to go to the Spider. It's going to go in like that so that it's in that table quarter.
And the Spider will set to defend because it can with the command protocol.
But the Seraphim are going to charge the Technomancer.
Who will actually Overwatch because he'll be hitting on 5s with the command protocol, and +1 to hit with his 1 attack isn't going to help him very much. Or can we kill Seraphim? We hit once, and didn't work.
And then the Cataphrons are actually going to try and charge the Technomancer because I might be able to get them into this table quarter. Ooh, 9. Yep. I'll start with the Penitent Engine. So it has 5 attacks on 4s, but re-rolling because of the Zealot. It needs it today. With 3 hits, 3s, 2 wounds.
Right, just that's flat 4 damage because it's -4. I'm going to spend 2 command points to interrupt with the Overlord. He's going to put all his attacks on the Canoness because since he's an honourable combatant, he gets +2 attacks if he only targets a character. So these will be hitting on 3s. Oh, he only gets 3 hits though. And 2s, well, 3 wounds.
Alright, we'll auto pass 1 with the Miracle Dice, and then 4s. Made 1, she lives. So I'll do the Canoness, obviously on the Overlord. 4 attacks on 2s, 6s are an extra. No re-rolls, but 2 extra hits, so 5 hits. Wounding on 5 still, it's only shown 4.
Yeah, the Sword of St. Master is +1 strength only. He's tough as
1 wound.
4 plus invulnerable, you made it.
I'll roll for the Seraphim. So the black dice is the regular Seraphim. These hit on 3s, you're on 1s, and 6s are an extra. So that's actually an extra normal hit and 2 power swords hits. White dice are on 4s or 5s.
He's dead because the power sword gives him no save. We did actually forget at the start of the fight phase, both the Penitent Engine and the Seraphim might take a mortal wound from the Plasma Monster. They both did. The Penitent Engine didn't ignore it, and the regular Seraphim did die, but it was the Power Sword that killed the Technomancer, so the regular Seraphim's attacks were completely irrelevant. But that leaves me with just the Spider to fight. Spider has 4 attacks on 3s, because it's at the defend, getting 3 hits. This was on the Penitent Engine, obviously, and then 3s as well, strength 6. Only 1 wound.
Yeah, 6+ armour. Nope. Ignoring on 5s, down to 2. Finally, it's just the Paragon War Suit. 5 attacks on 3s, you're on 1s, 6s are extra. She is apparently tired. Oh, well, never mind. 4 hits. Wounding on 3s, only 1.
And Overlord made his save. So that is the end of Imperium turn 3, but I think I'm going to concede here because I have 4 Immortals, 2 characters, a Spider and a Scarab base left, and I'll be gaining 10 victory points, but there are Imperium units in all of my table quarters now, and I might be able to get one of those back for 2 victory points. I'm not going to be able to take the central objective because it's got 9 wounds of Cataphrons on it. I just physically don't have enough shooting to even do that. The Immortals only have 8 shots. The Overlord is stuck in melee. He might win that, but probably not in enough time, and there's a whole unit of undamaged Skitarii Rangers that I can't really shoot at very much. So, because the central objective is going to be held, I think the Imperium are going to get 30 victory points, and then they'll easily run away with the victory then. Also getting domination this turn as well, of course, and then probably for subsequent turns. So yeah, it will end up being an Imperial victory with only 2 turns left. So having a look at our campaign rewards, the Imperium have claimed the victory on Tsiphos, meaning they get the Tsiphosian Shroud Relic. So that allows an Imperium character to ignore wounds on 5 pluses, so that's fairly good. But that's it for this game, so we'll recap it for you now. So that was the game from issue 84 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine. How did you think that went?
Pretty well, although it is worth knowing that after we finished we realised that you had forgotten your once per game bonus from being Ascendant, and you probably would have given it to the Lich Guard and they would have finished off another Paragon War Suit, which probably would have changed some of the outcome of that battle.
Yeah, I should have used the campaign reward on the Lich Guard, but it would have been my choice to use that. The fact that I didn't is annoying, but it's not like a rule we got wrong.
Yeah,
it's just,
and also that was a different rule in the previous game as well. And I also remember that I forgot that the Skitarii Marshal lets Skitarii Rangers reroll 1s to wound, although I don't remember how many 1s to wound they actually got.
They mostly wiped out the units they were shooting at anyway, so it probably wouldn't have mattered. And I don't think you're rolling 1s to wound with like the sniper anyway, so...
Yeah, I was planning on taking an objective and then keeping you off the middle one until I was in position to take it. And it's a very slow strategy, but I think if like the unit of warriors in the middle had survived a turn longer, you could have brought a load back. That probably would have tipped it in your favour.
Yeah, there were a few things that if they'd gone slightly differently could have made a difference, but I still think the Imperium probably would have won because you killed off the warrior units in their entirety so they couldn't reanimate. Once I just lost all my morals, control of the objectives became basically impossible, so the middle objective being worth extra would have just sealed the score in the end. Even if you'd got 30 victory points in, say, turn 5, that still would have been enough to push you over the edge, because I would have stopped scoring my secondary once you got those units into those other table quarters, particularly the Cataphrons. I didn't have enough attacks left to deal with them at that point, and the Dominus could just come and fix them. I might have sent the Scarab base with its new resurrected friend over to try and take objective 1 off you, but they might not have made it or even managed to kill the Battle Sister. I don't know if that secondary was the best to take, but I just took it because it was a bit more interesting, because it's not that hard for you to get a unit wholly within my deployment zone and then...
Yeah, I mean, if you'd gone second, I don't think it would have been terribly helpful for you at all, because I would have been able to bring stuff in onto your other 2 table edges in my second turn. Yeah, and I think I'm possibly misplayed with a Seraphim. It would have been better to hold them back for another turn, and then maybe bring them in towards objective 3. I mean, you might have kept some stuff back then in order to stop them arriving. And the Archoflagelants didn't do anything as well, except soak up fire. Probably should have brought them in maybe further back and just had them hang out on objective 1 to fortify my hold on it.
We haven't played that many games on this size of board recently, but I did make my usual mistake when on these small boards with charging something like the Wraiths forward and then it getting shot at by your entire army and dying. It doesn't happen so much on the larger boards generally because we tend to start a bit further away and there's more cover and stuff to hide behind. Yeah, I mean, the AdMech shooting being the star of the show, really.
Yeah, we only saw half of the Skitarii Marshal because the Skitarii stood around for most of the game, so they ignored the penalty for moving and shooting from his Warlord trait. I forgot about his rerolling One Aura and his other part. I don't think it came into play at all because most of the time, and the negatives were never relevant.
I never attack them.
Yeah. He is quite useful for Skitarii Rangers.
Yeah, and it might be more useful on a bigger board where you might want to move around with them a bit more because that is often their limitation, is you don't always want to move with them.
His gun is virtually worthless. It might auto-wound. It's not going to do much. I mean, he's probably about as good as a Skitarii Alpha in melee. I'd say strength is even -2. do is, I mean, I guess he'd do fine against warriors, but he's still not a melee character. Stick him at the back with your Skitarii. I mean, he'll help defend them from flayed ones, I guess. Yeah, I guess kind of the issue is that we don't really get enough Mechanicus stuff with this collection to get the most out of it, and his Warlord Traits really only work on the Skitarii Rangers. I probably will try at least one of the Tech Priest ones, but again, we don't have enough vehicles or anything that need repair to make the repair one that useful. The other one might be handy. I'll see if I can make it work.
Yes, the Skitarii Marshal really is actually kind of a microcosm of the problem with the AdMech that you get with this collection, unfortunately, which is that there are too many characters. There are now 3 characters and 2 units, and he buffs a number of units of which we only have 1. Unfortunately, the AdMech are kind of the neglected child of the collection in a sense, because they get the fewest units.
Yeah, it took us this long to get the Warlord Traits.
And then with these last 10 issues where we're getting, as it were, the bonus part of the collection, again, the AdMech kind of get the least interesting version. Yes, they get a character, but it's not really one they need. We wouldn't expect them to get more than 1 unit probably in this last thing, but the Battle Sisters got effectively 3 issues devoted to a fairly useful unit for their army.
Yeah, and so will the Marines, so...
Yeah, the Marines get a pretty good thing, even the Necrons get a couple of things. There are things in the AdMech range that I feel like would make the AdMech collection more interesting. Like, I mean, you could got 5 Sicarian Infiltrators or Rust Stalkers, so you'd have a melee unit and also another Skitarii unit that would benefit from more of the Doctriners, for example.
Yeah, or Electro Priests, that would benefit from the Canticles. And it might be able to fit in one of the Walkers, the Iron Strider Ballistarius, or the Sidonian Dragoon.
Yeah, I think that's a small enough kit they could probably justify putting it in. They would just make the AdMech army a little bit more interesting. So yeah, although I do like the model, quite a good pose, he's clearly a battlefield commander and not a fighter, with his pistol and his command stick. So he's also basically a Skitarii as if they made them more recently, and so he's kind of the right size, because the Skitarii Rangers, like compared to the Battle Sisters, are actually a little bit tiny. He looks a bit more imposing. Anyway, I think that's plenty for this episode and this game, so let us know what you thought in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.